Chris Williams. I studied astrophysics at Cardiff University, and I was bullied while I was there. I was bullied by students, and I was bullied by staff. The university liked to pretend that I was not bullied either by staff or by students. In my last year, I did make a complaint, and the University Senate did acknowledge that I was bullied to a moderate extent. They refused to completely investigate the full remit of litany that I got against the individuals who bullied me, and indeed that means that my complaint is ongoing through the Office of the Independent Adjudicator for Higher Education here in the United Kingdom. But I have found over the years that Cardiff University has shied away from investigating the complaint with its internal proceedings, and on my previous attempts to have the Independent Adjudicator investigate it, I've received back a letter saying that because Cardiff University was refusing to participate in the investigation procedure, there's very little that the Ombudsman could do. But it turned out that it's not just me who has found that universities like to cover up their bad practices. Indeed, here is some audio from the BBC Radio 4 programme Emmy Answers. You will hear now a member of the public, Susan Burnside, from Plymouth, I believe, and she's talking with the programme presenter, Jonathan Dimbleby.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jonathan. My point really is about the universities themselves, and I've spent a great deal of time working in higher education and some in further education. And I feel that the tuition fee issue is actually real to the 21st century, and we have to accept that students are going to have to pay for their education. But universities are not accountable enough for the amount of money that they have. And as Philip Green pointed out the other day, there's a huge amount of money wasted in the public sector, and not least of all in educational institutions. I mean, I remember standing next to a head of faculty watching a great big firework display put on for some, with respect, some slightly doddery group of alumni, and the head of faculty sighing deeply and telling me he could have employed a member of staff for the money it cost for that hellfire display.
I suppose you could say, I don't want to interrupt the thrust of what you're saying, but you could say that these so-called doddery alumni are those who've got some money in their back pocket which they might give to the university as a result of enjoying the fireworks display.
Yes, obviously that's a good point, but that's actually a very small point in terms of the universities having to be more accountable to their students for the services that they offer, and they are not accountable enough. And also, they do not lend themselves easily to student complaints. It's very difficult if you're a student, you've had a very unsatisfactory experience along with several others. It is very difficult to bring a university to book, extraordinarily difficult. And I think universities need to accept that the students are their customers, and they've had an awful lot of difficulty doing this. There's a lot of pompous hot air in some of these academic institutions, and people have forgotten that it's the students who pay their salaries.
Do you think that the impact of the increase in university fees, wherever it falls at different universities, will in fact have the effect of increasing that sense of, from your perspective, responsibility of universities towards students, because students are going to be much more shy like them?
You educate students to make them more accountable. It's a sort of circular argument, isn't it, that I'm engaging in? But it is the only way they will become more accountable. They are impenetrable. I have advocated for many students over the years trying to bring complaints, very valid complaints against universities, and it's an absolute marathon because they seek to cover up, they hate bad publicity, they cover up their bad practices. And I think if, you talk realistically to an awful lot of people, they would be telling you the same story that I am.
But they also, when you look and observe universities recruiting students, they go out of their way to demonstrate why they are the best academically, why they are the best in terms of the social provision, cultural provision, etc.
Yes.
So they're clearly aware, aren't they, that they've that if they don't, or they clearly believe that if they don't deliver, then students will not choose them and will choose another university.
But with thousands of students going to one university, if you don't deliver to maybe 100 a year, those 100 a year are not going to be able to have their voice heard. And also, when you're 18, 19, 20, do you really have any idea of what these people should be offering you? You don't really. You've come from school, maybe done a gap year. You know, mature students are a key, I think, because mature students are much more aware of what they should be being offered. But I believe that in the public sector there is so much money thrown away, so little knowledge at the top of what goes on at the bottom, that that's where the government should be looking to make sure that the students are getting value for their money.
Thank you very much, Suzanne Fernside.
So yes, it's good to know that there is another person here in the United Kingdom who has experienced what I have experienced. You make a complaint to a university about their dodgy activities, and it's so embarrassing for them that they try to whitewash it. I refuse to be the subject of a whitewash, and indeed I am continuing with my protest for justice. The people who bullied me have now gone on to graduate from university. The staff who bullied me, they decided that I was not going to be allowed to resit the exams I failed as a consequence of the bullying I was subjected to. Hence, I think that's very, very dodgy behaviour by the university, and indeed I am calling for the dismissal of key members of staff who turned a blind eye to the bullying that I was subjected to. And indeed, in the words of Nick Clegg,
"You failed. It's over. It's time to go."
I think that's quite appropriate for this topic, actually. So yes, if you've been bullied in university, in fact, if you're a newcomer to university, you're 18, 19 or 20, as Susan Burnside said, you might be free to be exploited. You might not realise until it's too late that you are not getting value for money, because this is very important. Now that they're talking about putting up tuition fees here in the United Kingdom, but I went to university as a mature student. I know that I was not getting value for money myself, and indeed I will bang a drum, I'll bang a saucepan, and I'm not going to bang a saucepan until I get justice, but I'm going to be banging this for quite some time if I did that. Talking about banging away, the people upstairs, that they were banging away earlier on, not at all impressed. I had to smash against the ceiling with my stick, and when I'd done that, they packed it in. I suppose that's the problem you get staying in a house that contains 30 different bedrooms. But yes, that's all I wish to say about the British university system. Feel free to share your experience with me. Of course, visit my written blog, museumsofchrisbrooms.blogspot.com. Right, that's all for now. Until next time, it's bye for now. Bye bye.